Namaskar and very warm welcome to all the viewers who are connected with us through eVidya channel number 6, 9 and 12 and also with our official YouTube channels. These are NCERT official and NCERT PM eVidya class 6, 9 and 12 YouTube channel. My name is Rajan Rajput and you all are watching us through with the mediums who you can connect with us. So before connect with us, आप हमसे पहले इससे पहले कि जुड़े आपको बता दें आज के सत्र के बारे में. So how you can connect with us or how you can know more about this topic. This is a special session present by CIET, NCERT and NCSL NIEPA, where NIEPA stands for National Institute of Education Planning and Administration, and NCSL National Center for School Leadership Development for Viksit Bharat @ 2047. And for today's topic, that is very interesting and going to be special. The topic is leading skills-based and vocational education in schools. So this is the topic, and to know more about this topic, please note down the various mediums how you can connect with us. First, note down our IVR number, that is live IVR number, and that is also flashing on your screen, and the number is 8800440559. Or you can drop your comment and query in live chat box option of our YouTube channels, and also you can write us on our mail ID, that is dth.class12@cert.nic.in. So to know more about this topic or to tell us more about this topic, we are joined by our panelists. Here we are joined by Ma'am Dr. Charu Smita Malik, Assistant Professor NCSL NIEPA. मैम नमस्कार, स्वागत करते हैं. साथ ही हमारे साथ ज्वाइन किया है डॉक्टर ज्ञानेश्वरी लॉन्गजम ने, जो कि असिस्टेंट प्रोफेसर हैं NCSL NIEPA से. मैम नमस्कार, वार्म वेलकम.
Thank you, Charu.
So to know more about this topic or you want to say something on our official YouTube channel, so live chat box option is there to drop your comment and queries. So topic is leading skills based and vocational education in school. Dr. Malik, I request you to please shed some light on today's topic.
Yes, thank you. We are going to talk in detail today about school leadership for implementing skills-based and vocational education in government schools, and this is a theme which is one of the most important themes in the National Education Policy 2020, which mandated that 50% of all the learners in school and higher education, they need to be exposed to vocational education. And India has come far ahead now in the last 5 years since the beginning of the NEP 2020, and there are many initiatives both at the governmental and the non-governmental level to improve competencies of students, both in the skill sector as well as in the vocational sector.
Right.
So there are a few things that we would like to put forward right at the beginning. One is the fact that when we're talking about skills-based education, it is a far more comprehensive term than vocational. Vocational is that sector of skills which can be understood as a subset of skills, where we associate any competency with operationalization and employability. So vocational is an area where the students they take diplomas and various other certificates to be able to become employable in the world of work. So this is really one distinction that I think all school heads must be very clear with. That when we're talking about skills, we are talking about a very broad spectrum of skills which are being instilled in students right from preschool, let us say, till secondary and even further. And in the framework of lifelong learning, we can always say that any competency or a subset of competency such as skill, we will continue to enhance it till the time we are alive and till the time we are productive. So this is one distinction that I think we all need to understand very clearly. So for example, a skill such as empathy, it is not something which is instilled in a child or in an adolescent at a very later age.
Yes.
This is a skill which is instilled in children right from preschool. Yes, the more we advance in age and in experience, the skills get more complex
Right.
and more advanced. Or for example, let us see communication.
Yes.
So it is not as if anyone is a great communicator or a great orator only at the age of 40.
But
45.
that is to express yourself.
Yes, but the skill, the foundation of that skill gets laid in the preschool time. So even children who start speaking, they catch up on communication. But as the age advances, experience advances, the skills also advance.
Right.
The competencies advance as we grow in age and in experience. So it is not as if we are talking about skills which is separate from the whole educational paradigm. We are saying that education definitely is a process which is doing multiple things, for a child. It has multiple purposes, and one of the greatest purpose of education is to make the child and the adolescent or the adult competent to face this life. So skills is something which should not be seen as separate to the educational process. This is something which is interlinked with all the subject transactions, which is interlinked with the curriculum transaction. So one must not see this as separate. That is one. Number two, when we talk about vocational, it is only a subset of skills when we are using it in the employable sector. So this is something that we need to have some sort of conceptual clarity on that. There are many references to competencies in the NEP 2020, and a competency, as NCERT has defined, is comprising of 4 components. One is knowledge, the other is skills, attitudes and values. And in that sense of a competency, which is again much more comprehensive than just a skill, which can be understood as a mechanical application of knowledge, or an application of knowledge which is to understand the real life problem. And it's not just the skill we are talking about, it is the attitude that is associated with the skill. So if I have the skill of communication, it is very important to understand whether we have the right attitude to practice that skill. So all these components go hand in hand when we are talking about a competency, and the foundation of it gets laid in preschool. So this is really a request to all the school principals to not think of vocational and skills as a separate aspect of education, but rather an absolutely inextricable part of education. The whole journey of education, it comprises of the building of competencies, it comprises of building of skills over a very, very long time, and with a lot of practice and experience and age. When the child reaches this stage of adolescence or reaches secondary, these skills and competencies, they flower and bloom.
Right.
And make the 12th class graduate very fit for the higher education world or the world of work. So
Right.
this is something that we think, and this is what NCSL has put forward in its resource book that we are developing.
Right.
So if you would like to
Right.
shed some light on this, Dr.
Yes,
Gyaneshwari.
I would love to. The national education policy has championed the reimagining the vocational education, as we can see that. And the key aspects of this is that it tries to include integrated vocational education into the mainstream education, and at all levels, in fact, from schools to higher education, and to create a more inclusive, relevant and effective education system. So that we can prepare students for the challenges and opportunities that are coming for the future workforce.
Right, right.
So we can talk about the integration here, the emphasis on practical skills, and this can meet industry demands including the IT and digital skills even.
Correct.
And flexibility has to be done according to interests, according to the career aspirations of the child. And so it becomes more flexible and personalized learning experience it creates. And then we have the collaboration, and the partnership is with the industry and the vocational training providers, to ensure that the students have access to quality education and career opportunities at the same time also.
Right. So you talked about integration of general and vocational education, and what are those components? So for example, you just talked about how there is no hard separation between
Yes.
subject domains and vocational. So a very simple thing, you know, if a child is part of a vocational program and has a low competency on communication, such as written communication, will not be able to do well also in the vocational stream.
Exactly.
So this is also a kind of a critique on the original understanding of vocational education and the educational process, the mainstream education, as we called it. And this was a mindset which was very prevalent a few years back.
Right.
That that any student, you know, who's perhaps not very academically sound was encouraged to become part of the vocational sector. But today that is not so. So we have these very important streams that have come up that we are going to talk about later as well.
Right.
For example, ITES, machine learning, and data science, and all these new age competencies, you know, which cannot be earned unless we are academically sound.
Right. So there is a breakdown of silos of education and the skills over here.
Yes, absolutely. So you need a very strong educational process to be able to scaffold the progress in the vocational sector for any student. So this is something that again a school leader and the teacher community and the school leadership team needs to understand and needs to keep that in mind, that for every learner the subject specialization is as important as the as the understanding of skills or application of knowledge, as well as the vocational part of it. So we have been doing quite a number of workshops,
4 in fact.
Yes, in National Center for School Leadership towards this direction. So would you like to share some of the objectives?
We have the objectives here. We are going to prepare the school leaders of the government schools for integrating the skills based and vocational education in their schools, and then we're going to finalize, the basic is to finalize some outline for a skill based resource book, so that they can be used for enhancement of the students in fact. And then we have the session designs are going to be made for a year, for the resource persons also, resource book in fact.
Yes. So these are certain objectives with which we have conducted a few workshops in this sector, and we have got a lot of insights and learnings into how we can proceed ahead. And I think this entire session, you know, whatever we are going to share here is going to be part of those resource books, you know, that we are preparing for the school leaders for leading their schools in the 21st century. Right. So I think this is something that we have already covered in terms of how NEP 2020 is focusing on the entire school education as a comprehensive whole, which also gets a boost, you know, when we are implementing it through Samagra Shiksha. And how does it really lay importance on developing the foundational skills, you know, the foundational stage of school education is so very critical for building the blocks of all the competencies that are required later in life to enter into the vocational sector or the world of work. So we have a range of competencies. So this is something that one needs to keep in mind.
So here I would like to mention here that the skilling is just right now, it's not a fallback. In fact, it's a very foundation. We are going to focus it for the Atmanirbhar Bharat, as we say it. So that will be the basic foundation of this.
Right. So what are the kind of benefits that we have for the students if we go for skilling? So if you could just share.
Yeah, it's been said that the world of work will be integrated into it. From the world of education and the world of work, they will be integrated together. And then it will be helped to, as I've been mentioned before, that break down the silos between the education and the work, and a strong basic educational foundation to build the skills upon them. And the concept of the head over hen concept to break, because we believe that every child there should be no difference between their work, what they do, because the perception changes when you're given that status over there. So but eventually, as mentioned over here, will be future ready for the Viksit Bharat.
Yes. So I think this, and we have come really a long way now in the last 5 years to be able to break this stereotype. That anything that has to do with mind is much more relevant than anything to do with hands. And I think now, if you really want to survive in today's world, especially we saw that in the COVID times,
Right.
We really need a mix of both head
Yes,
and hand.
together it has to go.
Right,
hand in hand.
and also now, since many of the students are also trying to opt for entrepreneurship opportunities, it is very critical that there is the entire education system is geared towards building the competencies for students, which range from, let us say, critical thinking to effective communication, ethical, professional ethics, strong civic sense. Then it could be in terms of a more logical and scientific inquiry.
Right. Even for
into the
negotiation,
phenomena.
self-motivation, all these defense skills, even they are required for that also.
Right. We're talking about green skills.
Yes.
We're talking about
Yes.
environmental sustainability and how students are now becoming more empathetic.
Right.
In fact, to their surroundings and the nature. So we're really talking about soft skills as well as hard skills,
yes.
And this is something that can only be provided by an education,
Right.
by school education, by formal methods of education. One cannot think of gaining these competencies only when one reaches class 9.
Yes, it has to
In the vocational sector. So we really need to lay the foundation of all these competencies right during the preschool, right during the foundational stage of education, so that this actually blooms when the children reach class 9th and 10th and 11th. So this is something that is very critical to this whole concept of understanding how education and skills are not two separate entities, rather a singular whole.
Right.
So this is something that we have been toying with, and the center has taken a lot of steps
For implementing this
for,
also.
for implementing this mindset, this attitude, this perspective of school leaders and their teams of how we must approach this entire subject. So in leadership, we really say, in terms of how do we influence the stakeholders, or how do we really bring this forward, that they are always at the center, the leaders are always at the center of breaking stereotypes, critiquing the old mindsets, and constructing something new which is relevant for the contemporary world. At the same time,
Right.
also not really forgetting what our past has to teach us.
Yes.
So that is something which is important for us to understand.
And
Right.
we also believe that the school leaders are the catalyst for these kind of processes, skills-based education, because we believe that they are the catalyst because they will be able to instill the love of learning, ability to learn from them, and then the focus can be done through them only.
Right. So these are certain strategies for school leaders, So would you like to explain a few of them?
Yes.
How school leaders can make this happen? How can they make this a reality?
So school leaders has to instill the love for learning among the students, and then it needs to equip students with the multi-dimensional skills, because these are skills where hands-on training has to be very, very important. And for example, we have the apprenticeship here, internship here, linkage with industries, and school head has to literally take a lead in approaching this system.
Correct. So, and there are various types of skills, like you just mentioned, transferable skills and digital skills,
Right.
Life skills, socio-emotional skills, So these are all the skills, this is the entire bag of skills that we're talking about, which are relevant for the 21st century.
Right.
So, again, when the students, they complete their vocational diplomas, they can, the school leader can also arrange for career guidance,
Right.
and the career melas, and various other opportunities such as vocational student mentorship, and so on. And the NEP also talks about how we can integrate skills in the school education curriculum. So if a school leader and teachers, they are organizing a sports function, let us say, not every child would play the sport,
Right.
but then there are multi-dimensional skills that are required for running the entire event.
Exactly.
And we all see how excited students are during these events in the school, and they all come together to make any event a success.
Right.
So all this requires multi-dimensional competencies from perhaps not just students, but even adults who are leading them. So this is something that we expect the school leaders to carry forward. So what are the vocations?
The various vocations that they can, a child can, after passing out from class 12, they can go into it. That if they're well prepared into, like they have these we have over here regarding to automobiles or beauty and wellness, and then we have got media entertainment, then tourism, the green skills, financial prudence, then AI encoding, retail, carpentry. There's so many other vocations that a child can go into it, and this will be properly guided, and they will have an awareness when it starts from the young age. And when they passed out, they'll be able to enter any of these vocations that would like to.
Right, right. And this is something that NCERT has taken a lead along with PSS, CIV in this sector. And when we're talking about how do we really integrate this whole notion of skills in the education curriculum or the school curriculum, not to say that it is not already present, it is actually present. Just the transaction of the curriculum is something which drives the building of competency. So we really need to understand that interlinkage very clearly. And when you're talking in terms of different school stages, it is known as the work education, or in the earlier sections, class 3 to 5.
Yes, work education.
And then classes 6 to 8, we are talking about pre-vocational, and from 9 to 12, we are talking about vocational,
right.
which is more geared towards employability in these different sectors that one can see on the slide. So when we are talking about how do we really prepare the students, to get into the vocational sector, this whole idea of pre-vocational has been developed, where it is requested that every teacher is, they think together on how they can associate various occupations with the subjects that they are transacting. For example, if they are transacting languages, what are the different vocations that can be taken up when the students pass out or they complete their higher education. So some of the writers, for example, their foundation was built way back in the school.
Yes.
During class 6 to 8, or let us say, or 5 to 8. So it is an important responsibility of the teachers as well as the school leader to sit together, to do a staff meeting, to coach the teachers of how they can associate various occupations with the subjects that they are transacting, and give an exposure to children in the beginning, where they understand this whole trajectory of any single occupation, and they take that forward when they grow, when they grow old.
Even they speak, when you talk about communication, it's just not about transacting a conversation, it's about the public speaking, the oratory, recitation, be on the stage. All these comes into as a big parcel, together.
Yes, absolutely, Dr. Gyaneshwari. And so we have many other vocations that are, for example, you talked about communication through language. We can think of many occupations that are associated with competency, and for example, computational skills. This is not that every student has to get into engineering. They can also go into many allied fields, which require computational skills. So you can have accountancy, and you can have
bookkeeping,
so many other,
maintaining books.
Absolutely, and all these are, so this is a whole range of occupations that we're really looking at. Or for example, if students are good in science, they can go to they can pick up gemology if they are very good with geography, and they can get into areas for, in fact, horticulture, and
florist,
and even advanced agricultural techniques. So there are many institutions and universities that offer programs in various.
It's a called dynamic there. Changes.
And similarly, you see any sector, healthcare, tourism, or software. So you have these allied competencies, allied occupations, where children can be encouraged to proceed and to become employable. So the idea of a school leader, and especially a school leader who is leading a secondary school, which has classes 12th, 11th and 12th, they must keep this in mind, and at the center stage, that every student who passes out either enters into the higher education or gets into the world of work with a set of multidimensional competencies,
yes, and skills, yes,
right, and must be able to productively lead a good life,
be employable. You know,
yes,
the opportunity
yes,
should be there for
yes.
them.
And again, one cannot really have separate compartmentalization of what higher education is or vocational education is. It is quite possible that at a point in life, you know, we don't want to pursue academics and get back into a,
Yes.
a vocational sector.
Right,
So
right.
this whole, you know, cross jumping of competencies is something that every student must, you know, must possess.
Yes.
So that, you know, it could be any reason in life, you know, that you want to switch
Your careers, or opportunities,
or
right.
opportunities, you want to switch jobs, you know, but for that, for even for the switching, you know, you need to have multidimensional competencies. So this is something that every stakeholder who is associated with the school system must really understand, that we are not really talking about these two words separately, but we are
Right.
saying that, you know, these two philosophies and these two paradigms are actually quite
Together.
interlinked, and one serves the other. However, education is something that is a much broader process of you know, learning, and then
We do need a strong foundation of education to go forward, and the child has to be able to adapt, you know, either way, as you said,
Right.
switching careers in between. So they should have this capability in themselves to be able to adapt to changes.
right, absolutely. Adaptability is again one of the greatest competencies that is required in all vocational sectors. So this is something that we have already you know, talked about, but there appears to be a mismatch between skills and employment, and this, I think, needs to be addressed both at the systemic level as well as the school level. So a school leader, when you are exploring which industries should you take your students to for exposure, or which industries are around in your neighborhood, you know, who can take the students for apprenticeship, you need to have a proper roadmap, a planned roadmap, you know, where you are able to assess in a radius of 10 kilometers, or let us say 50 kilometers of your school, which are the industries which are present, which are the higher education institutions that are present, you know, and map it out with your teachers to really understand, you know, what are the requirements of the job market and the competencies that you're preparing your students with. Is there a match, or there is a mismatch?
Right. The linkage.
Right. So this is something that you need to assess. Right. So when we're talking about skills of tomorrow, what do we understand by that?
That what the children be able to have the opportunities that they'll be getting in their future. Well, like this education has to meet the skills demand, because this is a bit a gap is there still in our country, which we have to bridge this gap, skill gap, you know. And through this we can have this, incubation centers are there, that we can use a hub and spoke model in the school system. Then we have the apprenticeship, the internship. Here basically we're talking about the linkage with the industry, as you ma'am mentioned just now also, that the linkage has to be there with the employability at the same time. And then we organize skills day, or the Koshial Mela, we have got that,
Right.
so they're able to explore more of their interests and aspirations for their future careers in their lives.
Right, right, right. And you can partner with many organizations,
Right, right.
who are into various sectors. Now, again, I think we need to come back to what the National Education Policy 2020 is talking about, why learning to learn is important, you know, because again, in the lifelong learning framework, it's really very important for every individual to be open to learning at every given point in time in life. And this is a very dynamic kind of a process, you know, where we are open to learn, and we are open to challenge ourselves, and of course in that whole process, you know, build up on the competencies that we have, and this is really the idea behind multidimensional human being, you know, who's able to really, you know, adapt to change, as you said rightly, and progress well in life. So this is something which is important, and this in itself is an important competency to gain. Not everyone is open to learning.
Exactly.
So so the attitude of how do we really approach how we learn, what we learn, and do we have the strength and the courage to unlearn.
Right.
unlearn and relearn.
Relearned.
So this whole cycle of of reflection and then unlearning, relearning, it is an important competency to have. Just the attitude of this is an important competency, right? So this is something that the policy has talked about in much detail, and this is what the slide is also talking about. And it is true that workplaces are changing, and you have dynamic labor markets, where different competencies are required at different times.
Yes.
So this is something that a school education must be able to build the foundation for. So you mentioned active citizenship and empowerment.
Right.
So, what do we mean by that?
In that, a child has to also, the school head has to lead the way, and in that he or she has to first change himself, his attitude, as we said, that if I want my student to succeed in life, my duty does not end at 12. After passing from 12, then I have to go back to those students which are passed from my school and bring them to the fold, and then lead a progressive life for them, so to be able to guide them eventually.
Right, absolutely. So MSDE, Ministry of Skill Development
so we
and
talk about
Entrepreneurship,
the skill competitions that which are held every year, in fact, and then in the next slide, which we can see that India skill competition is going on right now, and then registration are opened, and this is something very, very important because it sets direction for the next phase of India's skilling, in fact. And this year we're going to have around 63 skills for competitions for 36 states and UTs across India, and the registration is open till the end of September, and the winner of these competitions again will be participating in the next year 2026 World Skill Competitions.
Correct. So this is a great initiative by the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship.
It's a talent meet opportunity, and learning is meets by doing it. So they are being given to explore themselves here.
Yes, and the center requests all the school leaders to go through these various platforms that are available for the benefit of students, and these platforms are available on Ministry of Skills Development and Entrepreneurship. You can access the YouTube channel as well as the Skill India digital app one can download, where students can register and look for opportunities in their neighborhood or elsewhere to upgrade themselves. And we talked about how upskilling and reskilling is also important in the skill framework. So this is something that the country has really gone ahead in terms of making this part of the mainstream.
Right. In this one, the Department of Skill Education for Central Board of Secondary Education, we can see that there are skills, subjects offered by CBSE from class 6 to 8. There are around 33 skill subjects mentioned here. And then in the class 9 to 12, they have mentioned around 22 skill subjects. And in class 11 to 12, they have mentioned about 43 skill subjects. And I would like to request the school heads to go through these skills list, because it can give an opportunity for them also to learn and then to tell the students. And here these are the Koshial books, both books from the vocational education books introduced by the NCERT, and it's very dynamic and very creative and very, in fact, very updated also.
Right. So these are also certain programs and initiatives that school leaders and teachers can explore and guide and coach their students to undertake these courses and lead a productive life. So would you just like to?
Yeah, the first one, we have the flag scheme of the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship here. It is aimed at enabling the large number of Indian youths to take up industry relevant skill training, in fact. And in the Swadesh here, it's an initiative which is focusing on creating a database of the returning citizens, which they have got specific skills to facilitate their all employment support. And in the Gyaneshwari Longjam, they're providing skill training of the disadvantaged groups, particularly women in the rural and urban low income areas. In the next one, we have got Seeko or Kamao. This scheme translates into learned to earn, indicating a focus on practical hands-on training for employment. Then we have got the CTS, which implemented through the industrial training institutes and focuses on providing vocational training in the various trades. Then we have got the vocational training program for women, which is designed specifically to empower women through skill development and training. The last one we have got a Sankalp and Uran, and these are like components or sub-schemes under the PMKVY or related initiatives, which is contributing to the overall skilling ecosystem.
Right. And the school leaders can actually Google
yes, exactly.
all of these programs and find more details about it. So perhaps towards the end, we'll watch this small video clip, which is for 2 minutes.
Introducing Koshial Verse, a digital enterprise portal by National Council for Vocational Education and Training, marking a step towards digitizing its core processes. Our nation, being fourth largest economy of the world, is poised to become the global skill capital. India is marching forward with speed, transparency and emerging technologies.
भारत में दुनिया की स्किल कैपिटल बनने का भी सामर्थ्य है। आने वाले कई दशकों तक भारत दुनिया का सबसे युवा देश रहने वाला है। ऐसे में भारत दुनिया की स्किल डिमांड को पूरा करने का सामर्थ्य रखता है।
Koshial Verse serves as a unified digital interface for strengthening skilling governance, including recognition of awarding bodies and assessment agencies and NSQF alignment of qualifications. Koshial Verse harnesses intelligent automation, cloud-native architecture and agile workflows, delivering precision, speed and trust at every level. Among its many features are time-bound digital approvals, secure e-signatures and digital footprints, integrated and encrypted payment gateways, stackability and reusability of learning units. Koshial Verse empowers all skilling stakeholders, including school boards, higher education institutions, institutes of national importance, defense bodies, central ministries, state departments, private non-profit entities, PSUs, leading Indian enterprises and MNCs to digitally lead their skilling initiatives. This is not just digital transformation. This is the democratization of skilling. Koshial Verse powers the future of India's vocational education training system.
That's a really appreciating.
Yes, it is an awesome one.
So towards the end, these are a few themes that we have culled out during our programs, where many of the school leaders have provided the inputs, and I think these are going to be forming the basis
for our
of development of resource books. And of course, the resource book is going to be connected with a number of links, as well as access to many of the open education resources, digital resources that any school leader will find very useful for designing the vision of their school, which is aimed at building competencies for students, you know.
So their role will be played in leading the employability skills, you know, it will be very helpful.
Yes, absolutely. This is from our side, Shrijan.
Yes, so that's really appreciating by our viewers also. One of them is Malathi Mayank Chauhan says that conversation and the discussion is really going to be very interesting, as I mentioned earlier. That's important, and that's really interesting and special one we are discussing in today's NIEPA NCSL session, leading skills-based and vocational educations in schools. As the future belongs to those who learn more skills and combine them in creative ways. Am I right, ma'am?
Right, right.
So here we are, our guest and faculty guest, ma'am Dr. Charu Smita Malik, Assistant Professor from NCSL NIEPA. Ma'am, really appreciating your the ways you conduct this session, ma'am. Thank you so much. Namaskar. And want to thank you so much, ma'am, Dr. Gyaneshwari Longjam, Assistant Professor from NCSL NIEPA. Ma'am, आपका भी करते हैं धन्यवाद.
Thank you so much, Rizan.
In today's NIEPA NCSL session, we are discussing really important topics, and the school leaders who are connected with us, please आप भी इस बात को समझें और जानें, और एक दिन आप भी हमारे साथ इस सत्र का हिस्सा होंगे जब आप प्रयासरत होंगे अपने स्कूल के लिए, अपने उन कार्यों के लिए, उन जिम्मेदारियों के लिए जो कि आपके लिए सुनिश्चित की गई हैं. इस सत्र को हम यहीं समाप्त करते हैं और आपको कुछ सत्र के अंत के साथ ही देते हैं जानकारी. कक्षा 4 और कक्षा 7 की नई किताबें अमेज़ॉन, फ्लिपकार्ट और NCERT की ऑफिशियल वेबसाइट पर मौजूद हैं. आप यहां से अपनी किताबें मंगवा सकते हैं. चलिए कल प्रसारित होने वाले सत्रों की भी एक झलक देखते हैं. कल का पहला सत्र हमारा योग शक्ति का होगा, जिसे 8 से 8:45 तक आप सभी के लिए प्रस्तुत किया जाएगा. टॉपिक रहेगा योगा प्रैक्टिसेस फॉर बिहेवियर इश्यूज इन चिल्ड्रन. और साथ ही 2 बजे आपके लिए यानी कक्षा 11 के बच्चों के लिए चैनल नंबर 11 पर लेकर आएंगे उर्दू का सत्र, उन्वान है गोरी ही गोरी. और 3 बजे का सत्र कक्षा 12 के बच्चों के लिए संस्कृत का सत्र होगा. हम जानेंगे विषय कार्य व्यवस्थिति. इस विषय को लेकर हमारे एक्सपर्ट्स आपके साथ जुड़ेंगे. आपको बता दें आज के इस बेहतरीन सत्र को NCSL NIEPA CIT NCERT के प्रयासों से आप सभी के लिए प्रस्तुत किया गया, और ये सत्र आपके लिए हर शुक्रवार 5:30 से 6:15 तक प्रसारित किया जाता है चैनल नंबर 6, 9 और 12 पर. सत्र संबंधित अपने सभी सुझाव और फीडबैक्स ज़रूर हम तक पहुंचाएं. इसके लिए बहुत से माध्यम हैं जिनके बारे में आपको पहले बता दिया गया है. मैं सृजन राजपूत हूँ. अब आप सभी से हम चाहेंगे अनुमति. आप अपना और अपने सभी जुड़े हुए लोगों का रखें ध्यान और एक साथ बढ़ते रहें आगे. नमस्कार.